Potential Experts is brought to you by Vermonti's. Craving something cheesy, crispy, and unforgettably delicious? Say hello to Vermonti's Pizza, where every slice is a love letter to the Green Mountain State. From classic pepperoni to our legendary mac and cheese pizza, we're serving up bold flavors that you won't find anywhere else. Order online and get 20% off your first order with promo code Vermonti20. That's VERMONTY. Hit us up on Instagram at Vermonti's_Vermont Eats to see what's hot and fresh right now. Vermonti's Pizza, homegrown, handmade, and hella good. Potential Experts is also brought to you by the 0-20 Missisquoi Valley Union Middle and High School's basketball team. 0-20, nice job, Jeff. Terrible. Ethan, what's up?
I got something about Vermonti's. You can't find a table there
Yeah, no, you can't.
because it's so busy every night. So check it out, guys. Order online, delivery, Vermonti's
Ethan,
Pizza. That's crazy.
Ethan, what's your favorite pizza topping?
I'm pretty plain and simple. I like a plain Jane, just cheese.
What you
Oh,
you did not just say cheese as your main pizza topping.
wow.
When you said
That's
plain
what
Jane, I was like, he's gonna throw pepperoni our direction, and you went just
Yeah.
cheese.
I thought you were gonna put like sauce in it at least. You're just doing bread and cheese?
No, no, no. Of course, there's sauce. Why
Okay.
you
What about you,
silly?
Brandon? Brandon, what's your go-to pizza?
I do love like the classic Italian combo. They have sausage, peppers, onions, and pepperoni. I think that's really good. You throw it all together.
Yeah, I prefer that in a sandwich, but it's pretty good on a pizza too. I won't lie. I won't lie.
Okay, is pineapple on
No.
pizza an acceptable topping?
No,
Why are we talking about this?
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
Yeah.
disgraceful.
What's wrong with it? It's not like my favorite, but it's not bad. Pineapple and ham.
Ham, you're not
It's pretty
catching me giving you a problem on, but pineapple?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Brandon,
I'd like a pig base topping on my pizza.
so this ham, is it pig? Anyways,
Yeah.
so
We're off to a
sorry,
start.
people. All right, we're gonna get back on. We're gonna get the show on the road. We got a pretty interesting show for you. We're gonna, of course, break down not just one but two U.S. hockey team gold medals. Obviously, it's Brandon's time to shine on that one. He'll talk a little bit about both sides of it. I imagine he's gonna spend a little bit more talking about the men. I'm sure he's a little bit more familiar on that front. But then we are gonna get into a very, very fun NBA topic, talking about if the league were to expand. A team in Seattle, a team in Vegas. Who would get selected in that expansion draft? Ben did a ton of work. I'm going to let him explain it when we get to that point. But for now, Brandon, I'll turn it to you. Let's talk some Olympic hockey.
Man, it is a good day. It's a great day, one might say.
Not to be Canadian.
No, not to be Canadian, but watching I didn't catch the entire women's game. Unfortunately, I was driving home from work. They scheduled, when they scheduled that game, I was not able to make it home in time to catch the whole thing, but I was able to catch the overtime.
If you were a true hockey fan, like myself, I pulled over and watched that game in a gas station parking lot and then drove home after we scored the game winner. But continue.
Props to you. Props to you for that. Like I said, I was able to get overtime at least. I was not able to watch the whole thing, but I got overtime. Hell of a goal by Keller. Hell of a goal. And a nice pass from the defense too, getting all the way from, basically behind their own goal all the way up into the offensive zone, and it just makes a nice move around the defender, goes basically 5-hole on the goalie. You see it just trickle in. The golden goal for the women's side, just beautiful thing to see, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, when Keller made that shot, I had never seen or heard of anything like that before.
Famously.
You're familiar with Helen, Ethan?
Nah, name doesn't ring a bell.
The straight
I'm sorry.
Anyway, congratulations to the women's team. Very well deserved, hard fought. I think they were a little bit more favored than the men were in terms of, favorites for their side of the bracket. Looking at the men's tournament, that was something we were looking forward to the entire, basically for months, ever since they announced that NHL players are going back to the Olympics. That was certainly something that everyone was looking forward to. And Pags, I think Pags, you and E, we were all in a group chat, and I think we can. Yeah, sorry, Ben. Nothing against you, but you have not been, and you are not in the Fantasy Gurus group chat. I think Jay said it best. Give Connor Hellebuyck 2 gold medals because, man, he had a hell of a performance. Stopping, I think it was 43 of 44 or
40 of
44 of
41.
45. Was that
40 of 41?
40-41. So just a hell of a performance by Connor Hellebuck. To see that many shots in a game and only give up 1 goal. And then let's talk a little bit about that 5-on-3 in the third period. When you have a power play, Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, Macklin Celebrini, Cale Makar, like all these superstars that we talk about on a day-to-day basis in the NHL, guys who are all running their own power plays, all getting put together on one. And you see a minute and a half, 5-on-3, you need to make the save just to make it to overtime. I think everyone just kind of assumed this game's pretty much over. They're maybe not over, but certainly in jeopardy. And the USPK comes up big one more time. Should add 100% penalty kill percentage throughout the entire Olympic tournament is a hell of a feat.
Yes.
And especially to do it in that 5-on-3 against Canada to get which wound up ending up getting them the gold medal. But man, hell of a performance. Jack Hughes is going to get all of the credit just simply because he scored the golden goal in overtime. But I think Connor Hellebuck is really the star of the show here who deserves more recognition. It's not that Jack Hughes did not do anything incredible, but Hellebuck deserves most of the recognition, in my opinion.
Did he lose those teeth in that game?
Yes.
Or?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a U.S. penalty. The penalty on the U.S. that gave them a power play after they scored that first goal with a chance to make it 2-1 before it went to overtime. Hughes took a high stick and lost a couple of teeth, and doesn't miss a shift. That's a hockey player for you. Does not miss a shift. So hell of a performance by Jack
It's
Hughes.
worth noting, though.
Derek White came back into the game after breaking his tooth, so I don't know what's so tough about these hockey players.
Listen, back to Hughes. It is worth noting that while obviously a great performance by Hughes to score the game winner, Hughes takes the high stick because he drew blood. It's a double minor, so 4-minute power play. They don't score in the first 2 minutes, and then it goes into the second, technically, of the 2 power plays. Then Hughes takes a pretty bad, I believe it was a tripping call, to not only end the United States power play with about a minute or so left, but then so then they played 5-on-4 hockey and then gave the Canadians a power play late in that game, which almost ended it before overtime anyways. But hey, I mean, all's well that ends well. I feel like we have to hold Hughes a little because, I mean, we're giving him a lot of credit. He deserves it. He lost some teeth by taking the high stick, drawing the penalty, ultimately scores the game winner. Let's not forget about that piece in the middle, though, where he ultimately could have been on the wrong side of history if one of those Canadian shots beats Connor Hellebuck, who, as you said, was just beyond outstanding throughout a majority of the day.
And that's another thing to point out, too, is that any other coach, right? Give Mike Sullivan some credit for not benching Hughes, because I think a lot of coaches probably would maybe not overreact in that situation because it was a bad penalty. But I think a lot of coaches would have said, okay, you're done. And Hughes has not been one of the guys who was driving the U.S. offense all tournament. Like, he was a guy who was like 3rd line, 4th line at times. So, I mean, granted, his talent level is not that on an NHL team. He's a first liner in the NHL, but when you have a roster that's as deep as the US's is, understandable why he's playing that low in the lineup. But I do want to take a minute just to say that the U.S. team after the win with the whole Gaudreau family, it was heartwarming. It brings a tear to everyone's eye seeing what happened. If you're not familiar, Johnny Gaudreau, one of the best U.S. players of the last 15, 20 years, tragically killed by a drunk driver along with his brother. Little over a year ago now, I believe it was. So the U.S. team brings his jersey out on the ice during the game, has it on the bench with them, and then has it with them for the gold medal ceremony. Gaudreau family, Johnny's 2 young kids are in the stands for the game. They bring the kids out on the ice for the team picture at the end. So just a touching thing. And Pags, you sent this to me, and I thought it was great. It was a tweet somebody photoshopped. So Nathan MacKinnon, wide open net, just missed it completely. Missed, hit the side of the net. Should have been a goal. Should have ended the tournament right then and there, pretty much. But when he missed the net, somebody photoshopped a picture of Johnny Gaudreau in there, blocking the shot and making it go wide. So just he was with them, and it was nice to see from the U.S. team at the tournament. So that's pretty much all I got on it. But hell of a performance. Congratulations to both the men's and women's teams. It was a hell of a tournament, and I cannot wait to see U.S. players back in the Olympics next time around too.
Yeah, it was simply a great moment for the country, and it was really, really cool. I mean, seeing him in like group chats that I had with several other people that honestly, we're not even the biggest hockey fans, but you're sitting there and you're rejoicing over the fact that that they slayed the beast in Canadian hockey. And you brought up Nathan MacKinnon. I just want to say MacKinnon, again, a phenomenal player for the Canadian team, plays for the Colorado Avalanche in the NHL. He was asked by a Canadian reporter after the game about the game, of course, and he said, "You be the judge of who was the better team today." You know what, Nathan? I will be. And the team with the gold medals around their neck was the better team. They won the hockey game. So you know what? Get out of here. I'm not going to take any of your, "oh, we dominated them" nonsense. Because to me, it's almost like they're ignoring the fact that Connor Hellebuck stood on his head, almost like he's not a part of our team. Like, yes, did the skaters for Canada outplay the skaters for the United States? That. But Connor Hellebuck ate Jordan Binnington's lunch, as we knew he would, as we knew he had to do. So, miss me with all that. Our skaters were better than theirs. Our team was better. If your team was better, you'd have a gold medal. You're spoken like a silver medalist right now.
And major props to, two guys, the Pags, that I think you're down on a little bit, and guys that we didn't think really belonged on the U.S. Olympic team. We talked about that penalty kill.
Yeah, I was going to say, they killed the PK.
18 for 18 and for the tournament. Like, that's just incredible, much less to do it against that Canadian squad. JT Miller and Vinny Trocheck, a couple of New York Rangers right now. Just all the props in the world to them for being a big part of the reason they were able to do that. Also, just worth noting, too, they talked about it a million times on the broadcast if we're not already watching. But the fact that this win, to win the gold medal for, like you said, slaying the dragon, beating Canada, comes on the anniversary of beating the Soviet Union in the 1980 Lake Placid Olympics, and breaks that 46-year gold medal drought, which that was the last gold medal the U.S. hockey team won. So just incredible watching the stars align with something like that.
Brandon, are you all good on Olympic hockey talk? Congratulations.
I'm good.
Yep, congrats to both teams. Let's move on to basketball. Ben, I'll flip it to you. Explain a little bit about how this is going to go, and then we're going to get right into it. This is going to be this is fun, because this was probably the most challenging preparation I've ever had for this show. So I'm excited. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier, the NBA potentially expanding. I do think it's more of a when than an if at this point. We got Seattle getting a team back, which is awesome. And then their NBA and their love of gambling will have Las Vegas getting a team as well. So it's going to switch to 16 teams in each conference. Obviously, those two teams will be West Coast. And then it looks like, I would guess Memphis would come over to the East Coast, considering, they're in the eastern part of the nation, only in the West Coast because they were the Vancouver Grizzlies at one point. So I've just, we're kind of in a slow part of the NBA season. I thought it'd be a fun thing to talk about. Expansion draft is always exciting in theory. Every team's got those players that they love, and they're like, "Oh, we can't give those guys up." And then you go through it, and you quickly see these expansion teams have quite the uphill battle to go. Obviously, they'll get some nice high draft picks as well to complement their team with. You probably want to draft younger in this type of situation, but you never know. So I went through all 30 teams, kept 8 guys for each. Should I say the 8 for each team really quick?
No, we're not.
Right?
That's 240 names. We're not running through those.
240 names. Good math. There were some teams that definitely it was hard to get to 8 guys to keep.
There was one team, I think, in there that only had 7, I counted.
Yeah, I was doing it while I was at work. Not while I was teaching during my prep. But you get to a team I don't know, I'm trying to find a good example. Like the Warriors, I was at the end, I'm like, do they want to keep Pods? I guess so. And then you have
Pat
teams.
Spencer.
I kept Pat Spencer. I think I kept both Spencer brothers on each of their teams.
Cam Spencer, I see.
And then there were some teams when I was going through this, like the Thunder, or the Spurs, where it's like, oh, there's some good players that are gonna, get picked off. So not only will this be big when this happens, and adding 2 teams in the league, but some of those teams that are really deep are going to lose some good players, and maybe that'll level the playing field out. So the way it's going to work, I am the manager of all 30 teams, seeing as I picked the 8 guys to keep. I'll also be the commissioner. Oh, sorry, I believe Brandon's going to be commissioner of this draft, directing us back and forth between picks. Ethan is going to be running the Seattle Supersonics, and Ben, you're going to be running the Las Vegas
Invaders.
The Vegas Invaders.
Wait, hold up.
That.
Las Vegas. You had all of the fun themes that go with Vegas you could have picked from, and you went with invaders.
I think that's awesome.
Thank you. I looked it up. There were Las Vegas spades, which I think would have been appropriate for me because I always say let's call a spade, but I want to be clear. I don't mean this in any of this kind of way, but I hear that statement has like racial undertones, so I don't want to go that direction. Vegas, Vegas Jokers was an option.
Cakewalk too.
What's up?
Cakewalk's another one.
Okay.
Cakewalk. It's another bad
Oh, I
one.
didn't know that. No, the more you know.
Mhm.
But there was Vegas.
Do you guys want the history lesson? Actually, I don't. It's kind of messed up. Don't say
Nah.
cakewalk.
Yeah,
Yes.
then we won't run that then. There was Vegas Jokers, but I'm not doing that. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. I think that's stealing some thunder there. What am I gonna do? Vegas Clubs? Vegas Diamonds. Vegas Diamonds actually might be all right, but
As a Gamblers has been it's a little used like by some other teams in the past, but Gamblers would have been a good one.
yeah, no, that's a fair take. Definitely a fair take. All right, but we're going Vegas
The
Invaders.
mascot should be Terry Rozier.
All right. So, Brandon, you're going to direct us. I would recommend Age Before Beauty. So, Ethan would get the first pick. And then-
questions though, before we get started.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Questions.
So, are we snake drafting this? Are we on 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, or is it just we're on 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah. Snake draft.
Snake draft. Okay, sounds good. We're
I think
drafting
it makes the most
8
sense.
players, right?
8 guys. Yeah, we're not going to make you sit through a whole roster
No.
because it gets dark
It does.
once you get past 8. And any other questions?
No, I have none.
All right. And then we'll kind of spearhead some reactions to the picks, I guess. And I'll write down these rosters to help keep track of it. And Brandon, just direct us, please.
All right. So I just wrote a number down on my phone. E, it's a 1 or a 2. Which one is it? If you pick correctly, you get the first pick.
It's a 1.
It was, in fact, a 1. E, go ahead, take it. You get the first pick.
All right. With the opening pick, I think I've settled on from the Oklahoma City Thunder, AJ Mitchell. Great year 2 in the league. He's a player who's 24 years old and showing that he can score a bit. So I like him first here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a very good pick. The Thunder, like I mentioned, that's one of those teams where it's like I'm supposed to only keep 8 of these guys. Like when it got down to it, it's like Hartenstein, Dort, Casey Wallace, Caruso. Like maybe you could have gone Mitchell over McCain, but again, there's a lot of coin tosses there. Mitchell's a very high upside player. He's gotten good development in a good team. And ideally he's not your number one option, but in terms of guys who can put the ball in the basket and just create their own shot, he'll at least be a Ty Jerome in this league. So, I think it's a very, very good first pick, Heath.
that's where I was going. I had it in my notes. So the way I did it was, just to give a little background, I had the rosters of all the teams up, and I had Ben's list of the 8 protections up, and I went through and I just tried to do almost like a brain dump where like any guy that stuck out to me, I put on a list. I got 31 guys on that list, guys that I would consider even remotely valid. Then from there, I narrowed that down to, I believe, 9 or 10 guys, and I put them with a green check mark next to their name. Like, these are the guys I'm targeting. And then from there, I was like, all right, who are my top picks? Like, with my first 3 picks. And next to AJ Mitchell's name, I have in parentheses 101. I was taking him first overall. So nice job on your part, Ethan. It is also nice because this is really challenging, and I think it's cool that we're on the same wavelength there. For my top pick, I'm going to go a guy that might be ridiculous to take with the 102, admittedly, but he is ultra talented. And at this point, I don't know what general managers are going to be looking for. They're going to look for exclusively youth. That would shy people away from this guy. Or they're just going to go, we need to put butts in seats and get talent. I'm going to take Zach LaVine with my first pick. Ethan, you look confused. Did Ben protect him?
No, it cut out, so I didn't hear what you said.
Did anybody hear?
Yeah, I didn't hear you either. Just repeat it. No.
Yeah, no, I took Zach LaVine.
Yeah. Great
didn't
culture
even
center,
notice.
Ben.
Yeah. Listen, look, I need talent on this team. I know, obviously not. He's a former All-Star. Obviously, he doesn't really play too much defense. It's definitely not the greatest thing. But you're going to need to get players that can play ball, and Zach LaVine can play ball. He's exciting. It would bring a lot of excitement to this team. So yeah, I'm happy to go with LaVine for my first overall.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
Kings.
mean-
The Kings are much-watched TV, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Kings Pelicans, a couple weeks ago was major. NBA is a business. You're trying to put butts in seats. Zach LaVine dunk contest champion. He's got some like name value compared to most of the other guys here. And if you're trying to, get a little excitement going in Vegas, he's a pretty exciting guy despite all the flaws that are there. And if you're Sacramento, you get out of that contract, you just pivot more towards your youth and whatever they're, I guess, trying to do there.
Yeah. So for my second pick, this team's not gonna play any defense, at least for the first two guys. Another just really exciting player though, that is now, I believe he's 25, 26, just got traded at the deadline. I'm going Anthony Simons of the Chicago
Okay.
Bulls.
I had him pretty high up on my list.
Yep.
All right, so I have back-to-back now?
That is how
Okay.
snake draft works,
Absolutely.
famously. Yeah.
So first, I'm going to take a wing. It's kind of been a late bloomer, but a guy who is in his prime currently. I'm going Najee Marshall from the Dallas Mavericks. And then I'm going to follow it up. It might be a little redundant. Actually, you know what? I'm between two guys.
That's
We'll
what
go
she
with
said. Sorry.
We'll go with Jaime.
If he had gotten back to me, I probably would have taken him there.
So he'll play my
Nice.
4. So I have Mitchell, Najee, and Jaquez.
Yeah, pretty big team going, Ethan. I like this.
Yeah.
Not bad.
All right, Mitchell, Najee, and Jaquez. Nice job, Jaquez. I won't lie. Najee didn't have the green check mark, but Jaquez did. All right. So for my next pick, I get 2. I need a little defense on this team, so I went Simons and Levine. I'm gonna take Grayson Allen. Just kind of bring a little intensity. Bring the nasty, as Jeremy Sohan said when he joined the Knicks. Yeah, I'm happy to take Grayson Allen on this team. Then with the next pick, so I got some pretty good at my guards, going Allen and Simons, and then I got Levine as a wing. I feel like I need a big, and the bigs were not plentiful, I felt like, in this. But you know what? I'm gonna go with a guy that obviously has his fair share of health issues, but is probably one of the most talented players that was not protected in this draft. I understand why he wasn't protected, again, because of the health issues I just referenced. But I'm gonna go Porzingis.
There's going to be some diseases spreading around Vegas,
Yeah,
huh?
you betcha.
There's a first.
You betcha. But yeah, I'm a fan of this so far. So I'm going so far I got Simons at the 1, Allen at my 2, Levine at my 3, nobody at the 4 yet, and Porzingis at my 5. I'm cool with that so far.
Brandon, how many guys that we've named do you know?
Zach LaVine.
You don't know Porzingis?
You don't know
Porzingis?
Porzingis?
Sorry, I knew Porzingis. Sorry, I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't say that.
Not gonna lie, I
like it.
didn't know Porzingis was unprotected. I just kind of was
Yeah,
trying
so
to
I
get
sent
through
you this document with
No,
all
I
the
know, I
guys
know.
that I protected.
I had
Yeah.
to look through every team. Whatever, it's all good. I still like my team.
Well, you got 2 picks.
Okay.
I know.
The
I got
starting 5.
yeah. So I need a big man and I need a point guard. I don't love this player, but former number 1 overall pick. He's gonna put some butts in the seats.
I know where you're going with this.
I'm going DeAndre Ayton for my
Oh,
center.
DeAndre Ayton is not putting butts in seats. That's one of the craziest sentences I've ever heard.
He's got some name value.
Not a bad pick, but
He's
I will
got
say this, that is another one that I actually do know.
yeah, I'm just thinking about, I'm living up in Washington. It's a cold, rainy night in January. I'm like, damn, it's going to get me out of the house? A little DeAndre Ayton, a little push floater in the lane, 8 feet away. Let's get some Ayton back to the basket touches.
If it's cold and rainy, DeAndre Ayton's not even showing up for the game. His street's not safe to
Yeah,
drive.
That's a risky play. Ayton in the Northwest doesn't famously go too well. But hey, maybe all he needs is a change of scenery. Face of the franchise, DeAndre Ayton. But hey, he's used to the green and gold, right? He's from the Bahamas. That's the flag. No,
That's yeah.
it works a little bit. I don't hate it.
Absolutely.
I'm giving you a little something for it, but realistically, it's not a bad pick at all.
I'm gonna hold off on taking a point guard here because I think one of these point guards are gonna fall to me. I'm gonna take a guy who's gonna be a spark plug off my bench. That's Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole, famously also a point guard. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he's
hold off
more
on
of a
taking a
two.
point guard, but
Take a point.
I would say he's a 2. You would call him a point guard?
He's a handsome guy. Give him at least an 8. But yeah, I mean, he's not the ideal point guard, but him and Mitchell can both give you on ball reps, bringing the ball up the court. You kind of got a little guard by committee there. I don't hate it. You these teams are actually they're coming out a little more exciting than I thought they would. The NBA, it is at a very high level of talent right now. It's a very deep league. That's part of the reason why this expansion is coming. I'm not going to lie and say that the main reason isn't profit, but with the amount of talent in the league and guys who don't have roster spots who easily could, there are going to be guys who it's like, okay, Jordan Poole, AJ Mitchell, Najee Marshall, Jaime Jaquez, DeAndre Ayton. It's not obviously a playoff team, but like, would you rather have that or like, I don't know what the Kings currently have going on? Like, I'd probably rather roll with the Sonics here, right?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think it's debatable. My next 2 picks, this is where it gets really tough for me because I've saved a few guys that Ethan, I don't think you've been targeting. I think I'm probably gonna wait one more round because I got this round, then you go, and then I got the next round, and then you finish us off at the final with the final pick. This team is gonna be horrific defensively. It's just gonna be really, really bad. I'm kind of between 2 guys, but I have 2 picks, so I'm gonna take a both. Give me Kyle Kuzma and
All right.
give me
That
Sam
was
Hauser.
on my next picks.
Sam Hauser. That's a good one.
Yeah.
He was on
He's
my
not a bad
list.
defender.
He's not a bad
He's
defender.
famously
Kuzma's
like,
awful.
yeah, you would think Sam Hauser's a bad defender, but he tricks you.
Yeah, he does.
And
He
then
comes along. He's come a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He can shoot from a long way too, famously. Ben's gonna be getting up threes. This is
Well, Joe Ball.
this is a very modern offense. I'm gonna have you bring in coaches too at the end. I've just decided. So you're gonna have to audible on that. All
No,
right.
I'm taking Missoula.
No, they can't have a job right now, you silly goose.
But
All right,
that's
Ethan.
not what Knicks management thought last summer.
No,
All right.
didn't really work.
Give me Trey Mann from Charlotte.
Okay.
I love his style of looking like he's from the early 2000s.
He meshes with the team. Is good.
Next, give me a backup big. Yusuf Nurkic.
I like that pick.
Nurkic having a sneaky good year.
Yeah, he's done for the year.
Averaging a double-double.
Yeah, I mean, done for the year because did he actually get injured, or are they just trying to fall in the standings?
I don't know. I think somebody said it was his nose, so that's probably nonsense.
All right, fall in the standings. Yep, too good to play in Utah. Good enough for Seattle. I like it.
Yeah. All right. So, with my final 2 picks. For one of them, I'm going to bring in. I thought this guy. I've been saving this guy. I thought this guy could have gone higher in the draft. He's had kind of come on a little bit more in his rookie year. He was a highly touted recruit in college just last year, and he wasn't protected in this. And he's like slowly started to come on as a rookie. I'm going to go with Miami Heat, Kasparis
That was my
Yakuchonis.
next pick.
Yeah.
But yes, I've been writing these down. Don't know how to spell that one. Yakachonis.
JAKUCIONAS.
That was my next pick, man.
Yeah, I've been saving him because I didn't think you would.
That's crazy.
Take him early. Yeah. So I'm just looking at my team. I probably need a back because I just have Porzingis in terms of like a true big. Honestly, I have like a lot of like guards and stretch fours, like a real stretch for like Hauser and Kuzma and not even Levine. So I definitely need a big here. Got to go off the beaten path a little bit with this one. If we were to go further in this, I would take a more traditional backup 5, but I'm going to take a very traditional 4 right here with a guy that can occasionally knock down a 3. I'll take Patrick Williams of the Chicago Bulls.
Okay, Patrick Williams. You don't want to go the Yabu route?
He's not even on my list. It did not think about him. I am gonna say, and Ethan, you don't have to do this unless you take this guy. Who my backup big is gonna be if we were to do a 9th round. I'm not saying we have to go into 9th. That's all I'm gonna do. Like if you don't take the guy with your last pick here.
I'm not taking a big here.
Okay.
Between a few guys, honestly, I'm going from the Denver Nuggets. He's been showing out lately. Julian Strawther.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah. Give me one more. We'll get a 9-man
Is a
rotation.
9-man? Then that'd be Ethan. Then you get and then I
Yeah.
close the draft.
Okay, give me Scottie Pippen Jr.
Okay, Pacome Dadier was on the board, but You want to go Scottie Pippen Jr.? That's cool. I can't blame you. Dottie at the backup 5?
Absolutely
Is
not.
that who you're thinking of?
Nope, not a chance. God, let's see if I got his name. The guy from Toronto, Sandro Mamukelashvili. Mamu.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
nailed that name
Mamu.
too. I nailed that.
I was gonna say, I don't even know who this guy is, but that sounded good, so I'm giving you the credit.
Mamukelashvili for sure. Yeah. No.
You're a hockey guy. I feel like you can comment on these things. All right. So
Shakir Mukhamadullin.
It's my nickname in high school. All right, Ben.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you do
Who's
like an honorable
coaching this
mention?
roster?
What's up?
Well, I was looking for a coach, and then we can talk honorable mentions. But just to go over the roster, who's going to be running a team of Anthony Simons jacking up threes, Grayson Allen bringing a little culture, a little intensity, Zach LaVine is your go-to scorer, Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis protecting the ring and the rim and shooting threes, Yakachonis is your high upside backup, Sam Hauser, another floor spacer, Patrick Williams, 3-and-D, and Mamu, a stretch big. Who's running the show?
Coach is gonna pull his hair out, or what's left of it, with the lack of defensive intensity on this team. Quite frankly,
Yeah. Give me
Tom Thibodeau, baby.
Yes. I may have to become an honorary Invaders fan if they got Tibbs running the show. I do honestly think that one of these expansion teams should take Tibbs.
Absolutely,
Because
100%.
like that guy is the ultimate floor raiser. He's going to give you a culture from the jump. The fact that Tibbs doesn't have a job right now is pretty preposterous. I'm not blaming the Knicks struggles on Mike Brown at all, but Tibbs clearly wasn't the problem last year either. I think Tibbs is a great coach, my favorite coach in NBA history, and I would be so happy to see him back in the league. I think that would be great for Vegas, and he won't get distracted by the clubs or the casinos. But what did he say? Every gym is 70 degrees and sunny. He doesn't need anything else.
I love that. Who's your coach?
Yeah, I'm poaching somebody out of retirement and out of the college ranks. It's Roy Williams.
Okay, I thought you were Jay Wright when you said that.
Roy Williams. That was the UNC guy,
Yeah.
correct?
Absolutely.
So you got Roy Williams running with Jordan Poole, a little shake and bake. AJ Mitchell as the best player in this draft. Najee Marshall, good theoretical 3-and-D. Jaime Jaquez, high upside, secondary creator. DeAndre Ayton, the guy's going to be putting butts in seats. Scottie Pippen Jr., nice backup point guard. Trey Mann with the Supersonics Y2K aesthetic. Julian Strother, another good backup wing. And Yusuf Nurkic. I like it, man. I like both of these teams. Were there any guys who didn't get picked who you were considering?
Yeah, I had a few guys. I thought hard about Landry Shamet, to be quite honest. Yeah, Shamet. Then there were some other guys, like some youthful guys that I was thinking about, like that were unprotected. Like not they've had big years, but really young, like a Jace Richardson. I was thinking Sion James, Isaiah Joe. He's a sniper. He didn't get taken. Bones Highland.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised Isaiah Joe didn't get picked, to be honest. I probably would have taken him over a Grayson Allen, a Trey Mann, a Julian Strother. He's good.
Yeah, I also another guy actually that like if we were gonna do 15 man, that definitely would have ended up on my team. Was on a 2-way this year. I believe he's been converted because he's had a really nice year. It was Caleb Love.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's had a really nice
That's a
year
good one.
for a Portland team. Then there's other guys like Marcus Smart that, again, culture setter. Not that this guy's really that good, but I mean, he at least has tools. DeAndre Hunter and Dorian Finney-Smith are both kind of in that same category, like theoretical good 3-and-D wings, even though it hasn't really worked to the best of their ability with obviously Hunter's gone from Cleveland and even DFS in Houston. It's going okay. It's nothing special. But there's like a lot of guys out there that like, this team's going to be deep. Like this team, like both of our teams, if we were to do 15, they could play like 12 deep if they wanted to. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
like Jakob Pertl was a name that I was considering. Smart was another one. Jeremy Grant, show him some love too.
Yeah, I thought that.
I think he's a phenomenal hooper, but too old for this team. Those
One
three
guy-
guys stood out.
Another guy didn't get picked up, another young guy, Carter
I
Bryant.
thought about
I
it.
really wanted to keep them in San Antonio, but they're so deep. It was like, they're not going to keep Bryant over like Keldon Johnson or something. But he would have been a guy I targeted in this draft for sure.
I thought about Jalen
Yeah,
Williams.
big Jalen
Yeah,
Williams. Yeah, yeah, it's a
obviously
good one
not
too.
J Dub, J Will. I think they call him. I thought.
Yeah, I probably would have taken him over like Patrick Williams, but you know, you can kind of go a lot of different ways with this. But yeah, I mean, this expansion draft will be coming. It will make for some great content on like the NBA social media space when that goes down. People will have a field day with that. You know, every team's going to be so worried about their guys getting poached off. More so, every fan base, I would say, is going to be really worried about that. But I know we only did 9 guys, but when you get to that 13, 14 range, there's going to be plenty of teams who don't get their guys taken. Like as a Knicks fan, I'm like, so I'm going to take Tyler Kolek. He didn't even come up in our discussion today. Maybe he'd go if it went 15 deep, but like there's a lot of talent in the league right now. If you did an expansion draft like this 10 years ago, I mean, it wasn't the easiest to come up with names here, but it would have been about 10 times harder to do it then, you know?
100%. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. This is. I had a few more like, and they're not special. Like Alvarado, I thought about Ochai Agbaji. I thought about Karis LeVert, and Schroeder as well. So I felt like and Isaac Okoro. I felt like there were plentiful options, and it was pretty it was a pretty good time. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
All right.
How you guys been feeling about your teams, Ethan? How you feeling about the Celtics nowadays?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel good about them right now. It would be cool if Tatum came back. If not, I don't really have many expectations. If he does come back, the expectations might be a little bit higher, but who knows? He's still going to be so like, not in shape yet, and he might just not be ready for a playoff run. So, I'm feeling good that they're clicking. What are you guys thinking about the Knicks? I know they've kind of been up and down, but a couple good wins the last couple games.
Yeah, Ben, I want to address this question on the
Yeah,
podcast because I texted
I
this
might, I
to you
might
over
be
the
more
All Star
sad.
break.
I might be more sad now.
I had texted Ben. I said, "Are the Knicks the most confusing team in the league?" And he texted me, "No, they're just good. They were great to start the year, had a bad 9 game stretch, and then were good heading into the break. And then within 48 hours, we were talking about blowing the team up and how awful they were. And then they beat Houston. And then they barely beat Chicago. I do think my Knicks are the most confusing team in the league. I really don't know how to feel about them right now. I'm going to hope they do well. Again, we saw in the regular season last year, there were some teams that beat up on us and then just couldn't hang in the postseason. Who do we beat in the second round?
It's
I forgot about that.
Brandon. Do you remember who the Knicks got beat in the second round last year?
Why are you looking at me?
I feel like though. You reminded me like last week who they beat in the second round, and it's just
I did.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, look at your shirt, maybe. You got a little color association, pattern recognition.
Maybe like a
Oh.
t-shirt. Oh, Brandon.
It was a Boston
Yeah.
Celtics, to be clear. But yeah, I mean, Boston like beat up on us last regular season. Detroit kind of took it to us last regular season, and we ended up beating both of those teams in the playoffs. And then Indiana, a team we had a winning record against in the regular season, took us out in the playoffs. So it's like I really don't know how much stock to put into February basketball. I really don't know to what degree these guys are going for every regular season game. I would have liked us to just do better against Detroit. I don't know. Like those guys are going balls to the wall every night. And I still don't know how they're going to do in the playoffs. I would put them as my favorites in the East. You see those odds pop up when they have games on national TV, and Detroit is somehow like still behind like Cleveland and even Boston, and it doesn't make sense to me. Like they should be the favorites. But I don't know. We'll really see how the Cade thing goes in the playoffs where teams are just going to collapse on him. But yeah, my Knicks, I'm very confused by them right now. Charlotte's still my second favorite team in the league to watch at the moment. They're so fun. But yeah, it's been a nice week of basketball. And I will say, I've been off of social media, no Twitter, no Instagram, and really makes my basketball watching experience a lot more pure. I'm just kind of enjoying the games. I'm not getting wrapped up in all the drama. It's a nice change of pace. If you're someone who's always following along with every little thing, just to take the step back, especially if you're deep in like a team's Twitter, like you oftentimes miss the forest for the trees, you know? And so now I'm just trying to take a more holistic approach to things. I was a little pissed off. I was going out last Saturday and I was at someone's apartment. There was like 15 people there. They didn't even like realize when Mo Diawara checked in the game. I was sitting there while I'm like, Mo's coming in. They're all, having beverages and talking, a bunch of freaks. So that was a little disheartening. But Yeah, I mean, it's February basketball. I don't know how much you can take from it. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
The disrespect from Mo, quite frankly, is sickening. And not only on the part of the other 15 people that you were hanging out with on Saturday, but on the part of Mike Brown for giving Jeremy Sohan minutes over him 2 nights ago when the
Yeah.
Bulls. That was a little sickening to see. But I mean, hey, he makes his choices, I guess.
Theory time. Odiwara is expiring after this season. I know you guys tune in for Mo Diawara talk. Keep him on the bench, keep him hitting. You don't want another team poaching him for like a $9 million deal that the Knicks can't match.
I noticed that.
Oh, of course he was protected. He was like the one young guy on that team with upside. So yeah, I don't know. You guys are ready? You guys been following the college basketball scene at all, or still not yet?
Yeah,
But yeah,
Ethan came over last week, and we hit the gym, and then we just watched college basketball all day. Saw Duke take down Michigan in a game where Michigan looked pretty lackluster for a team that has been hyped by some as one of the greatest we've seen this century. I didn't see that personally. I mean, obviously they have to be their best in March, not necessarily February. But again, it was like a big opportunity to send a statement to what I believe to be an inferior Duke team, and they did not send that. Watched Arizona go into Houston and take them down. That was really impressive for a team that can't really hit the three ball very well. Arizona shot it at a pretty impressive clip and took down what at the time was the number 2 team in the country. The big one is tomorrow, though. So by the time you're listening to this, it
Yeah.
actually would have happened yesterday. Ethan and I will be in the building at People's Bank Arena in Hartford, Connecticut to watch number 15 St. John's take on number 6 UConn in what very well could be
Nice.
the deciding game for the Big East. If St. John's wins, they don't technically clinch, but it would take a really, really big time choke on their part to drop the Big East if they win tomorrow. And if UConn wins tomorrow, they put themselves in a really, really nice position to overtake St. John's, who is the current leader, and ultimately capture the number 1 seed in the Big East tournament coming up at Madison Square Garden.
I
And
didn't
this
know that
is
St. John's was top 20 again. That's
They've won,
that's
they've
fun.
won 13 in a row. Tomorrow's they're going for their 14th, obviously. And if they get it, it would be a Big East record. Brandon, what's up?
I was gonna say, and this is why college sports rankings make no sense, because how can St. John be the favorite in the Big East or be the leader in
St.
the Big
John's
East?
singular.
Well, how can St. John be the leader in the Big East while being ranked lower than UConn? I understand UConn's a better team on paper and all that, but again,
they have less overall losses.
college rankings make no sense.
There's this thing called the standings, which is like wins losses, and
Yes, I'm aware of how. I'm just saying the rankings being just this opinion of the people.
Arbitrary.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
well, I mean, here's the deal.
That's all I'm saying. The arbitrary rankings
Yeah,
versus wins losses. I understand why in college and all that makes sense for college football. I don't think it necessarily makes as much sense in college basketball.
well, the thing about St. John's
So you
is
play so many more
they had a
games.
lackluster start to the year, and they played a lot of ranked opponents. They were ranked 4th overall in the country coming into the year, and it just took them some time to gel. They lost to a lot of very good teams, but they didn't win any close games over good opponents until like later in the year. They had a dreadful loss to Providence to like open up Big East play. Now they've rattled off a bunch of victories in a row, whereas Connecticut has been more consistent over the course of the year, but has dropped a bad one to Creighton last week, dropped to St. John's a few weeks prior to that. So St. John's is 14-1. I think UConn's 14-2 in Big East play. So there you go. What's up, Ben?
So if you're someone like me, and if you're listening, and you don't really watch college basketball till March, could you each give me like 2 or 3 teams I should really lock in on and pay some attention to heading into the tournament? Things to look out for?
Yeah, I can give you a few. You want to alternate so I don't just take all 3?
Yeah.
You can go.
I'll start then. Iowa State's a really good team out of the Big 12. The Big 12 is loaded with a lot of talent. Obviously, the first 2 draft picks are going to come out of the Big 12, unless Boozer hops one of them. But I think they're a really good team as a whole.
Is this Iowa State's men's or women's team? Because I know about their women's team a little bit.
Audie Crooks.
Their men's team. Audie Crooks. Is she the best player in the nation, or is that Sarah Strong?
I don't know enough about the women's game. Newman's going to come on in a few weeks and do a women's tournament preview. We don't need that right.
Okay.
For my team, I'm gonna go. I mean, we already talked about Duke. I'm gonna go Florida. They're not currently ranked like top 5 or anything, but they have the championship pedigree. And if they can knock down a 3 at any like a semi-regular clip, they're going to be in a really good position to try to repeat.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe my Catamounts play upset, play spoiler in that first round. They're gonna get out of the American East. Do we know
They're,
this?
they're trash, dude. They suck.
What about Gus
I mean,
Yalden?
he's nice.
Probably the most mentions ever for like a sub mid major D1 basketball team on a podcast.
Listen, currently 10-4. UMBC is going to probably be the number 1 overall seed, which means we're going to have to go down to Baltimore if we get to the final to win that one. I don't like our odds going into Baltimore, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. NFL trade rumors coming up. My Giants are getting a receiver. Is this true?
I mean, we've been linked to Jalen Waddle. There's even, obviously, we talked about it, like a little link to AJ Brown, which doesn't seem legit. I think it's more likely that the Giants take a receiver at number 5 than it is trade for any one of those guys. Kirk Cousins is going to be released on March 10th, so he'll be free to sign elsewhere starting then. Sounds like a New York Jet to me. If it's not Kyler Murray, anybody at Max Crosby trade rumors are still heating up. We'll see what occurs there. Trying to think anybody else. Kyle Pitts was franchise tagged today. The Cowboys are leaning towards franchising George Pickens, and it sounds like the Jets, if they cannot agree to a long-term deal with Breece Hall, will franchise tag him. So a little bit of NFL news coming out as a lot of NFL fans are probably like ready to take a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather. We never stop. Scouting combine's coming up probably this week, so let's go.
It is
It
this
is
week.
this week.
Let's go. Lot of fun. Be tuned in to NFL Network constantly to watch Ty Simpson throw because Fernando Mendoza will not be throwing, which is a good move on his part. No need for him to throw at the combine. He's going to go number 1 overall anyways. But yeah. Gentlemen, do we have anything else? I know it's a little bit of a shorter show, but I do feel like we packed a lot into it. Brandon.
I just feel like we have to cover something MLB before the show is over. So I just have to say that spring training today, Red Sox put up a respectable 7. Wasn't enough to beat the Pirates 16 though. So take the loss today.
Yeah, listen, here's what I saw. So the Red Sox beat Northeastern because they always open up spring training by playing, yes, the college Northeastern. They beat them by, I believe, 15 runs, beat them 18-3. The Yankees then beat the Detroit Tigers. For anyone unfamiliar, Detroit's a professional team, beat them 20-3. I mean, you be the judge on which one's a little bit more impressive, okay?
We do have White Otani though. Spencer Jones, the way he hits that ball, I need to see him in the Bronx this summer. He better be getting called up. It's it's an exciting time. Listen, Evil Empire never goes away. Somehow Palpatine returned. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
I got you.
Yeah, no, you
No, I
don't.
don't.
You don't. Get out of here. But, you'll get there one day. Maybe we'll do a little movie talk this summer when the NBA dies down and we don't have much sports going on. We'll do film aficionados. Maybe we'll do a little film club because who reads? Am I right? I'll give you guys some recs and then we can talk shop. All right.
Okay, I'd watch just for the sake of that. That'd be a good idea, honestly. All right, gentlemen. It was a great time. Glad we were able to draft, and we'll see when these drafts, like this summer, the league is voting on it. So we'll see. I assume they're going to vote yes for both teams, and we'll see when those teams will actually be joining the league. But
If it's anything like the NHL, it'll be 2-3 years from now.
yeah. And you know what? That'll give us good content. Then we can actually do the draft when the teams announce who they're protecting. But that will do it for me and us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. Spread the word. And with that, peace.